This is One on One. Laurie Berkner is a musician with the Laurie Berkner Band, and People magazine has called her the queen of children's music. Her new CD is called Laurie Berkner's Favorite Classic Kids Songs, and our daughter Olivia, who is 5, loves it. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
When did you know you loved children's music?
Oh, I think maybe when I realized that when I played music I had written for kids, everybody laughed and danced and sang along, and when I played like cover band music, people were usually drunk and like yelling at me to play Freebird instead.
Play Freebird. Yeah, you grew up, you said, in Princeton, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And music came into your life when?
Oh my gosh. I mean, my real earliest memory was like being almost 3, and my parents would tell me to stay in bed until my clock said a certain number, you know, and so I would put on my Fisher-Price player and march around on my bed and sing Do-a-Deer at the top of my lungs, because luckily our bedrooms were at opposite ends of the apartment. I just have always loved music and loved singing, and I got so happy and lucky that I was able to do it as a career.
But how in high school, and at Rutgers, we were just talking about our alma mater. Yeah. You're at Rutgers, you're traveling the world and performing.
How did that get from one to the other?
How do you wind up, how does your career take off?
Oh, yeah, well, mostly it was that I was writing and performing and doing a lot of kids' music, recording, and I had some local success and people seemed excited about it, but the biggest thing early on was first that I had a shot at playing on the Today Show, and that was mostly that a producer there had a kid.
2001?
That was 2001.
How did that change things?
To remember, it changed things in that being on TV for 15 minutes, performing live, they showed a little bit of background. I had done some celebrity birthday parties very early on, and I got a call at home from one of the big distribution companies that gave Alliance. They're the only people that distribute to Barnes & Noble. And suddenly, I couldn't even get like a little kids label to represent me, but then I was in my pajamas and got a call at home like, we need to talk to Laurie Berkner. People are going into Barnes & Nobles all over the country asking for her music and we don't have any. And I said, I can get you some. Sitting right here in boxes in my living room. So that was a really big change.
How does Two Tomatoes recording company start?
Right, so Two Tomatoes is my record label,
right.
And I actually go to recording studios to record. The label itself was more just to be able to have a business entity so that I could run my own business and not have to sign with a label.
You own it.
I own my own, yeah.
You're in control of your stuff.
Right, so I have Two Tomatoes Records, which is the record label, and Two Tomatoes Touring, which is the touring part of the separate touring company. That was...
Why do you laugh when I ask that?
Oh, it's just funny. I have an old friend who was, at the time I'd been making cassette tapes. Yes, it's a long time ago. And this good friend of mine who was freelancing and was also very organized, I called her and said, I don't know how to run a business. I don't know how to do this, but I'm selling this music and people seem to like it. Can you help me? So she said, okay, give me $50. I'll meet you once a week for a few hours, and we'll just, I'll make sure that you do things like send your music to people to write about it, send it into journalists and things like that. Anyway, we were meeting one Friday, and she said, okay, you need a real company, at least a DBA, something, and it needs a name. And I said, well, how about some name that starts with an A, so it's at the beginning of the Yellow Pages?
Are you serious?
I know, this was that long ago.
Ruby Rutgers didn't teach you to be an entrepreneur?
No. I studied psychology. Are you kidding me? And art history. Anyway, she walked out of the kitchen while I was yelling to her, and she said, holding 2 tomatoes in her hand, how about 2 tomatoes, because we both love food, and we're a couple of tomatoes.
That's it?
I said, that's it.
So that was the incredible branding, marketing plan.
That was, all of our research.
All right, tell me, by the way, there are 2 discs here, right?
Yeah.
And so many songs here, like 20.
I know.
incredible number of songs. How did you decide which songs to put on? These are classics.
It was mostly what songs not to put on in some ways, just because, I mean, there are so many. I guess it's, it was mostly songs that I loved when I was a kid, songs I sang to my daughter, songs that I started with when I was a preschool music teacher, which is how I actually got into doing kids' music and writing music for kids. I mean, mostly over the years, this is my 10th album, and I've never put out an album that was all classic songs before. It's always been my own, with maybe one or two sprinkled in, especially at the beginning when people didn't know who I was. But it felt so fun to go back and listen to this music that I grew up on and share it in my own way with, a new generation. So it was a fun album to make.
Well, you mentioned some of the others. These are some of the other CDs. It's really great stuff. Before I let you out of here, how much do you love what you do?
I love most of it. I don't love all of the business part. Sometimes that's hard, trying to sort of, promote and do sign, I don't know, just all the stuff I do in my office.
How about the art?
But the art I love. Mostly I love the kids. I love recording. I love meeting kids and families and talking to them, and I love performing, and I love singing and playing. And writing the music too. So all of that part of it is wonderful.
Isn't it funny how we love the art, but if you're not good at the business, you don't get to do the art?
It's really true.
Laurie Berkner's favorite classic kids songs. It is great stuff. And you're getting better at the business every day.
One on One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One on One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Virtua, MagnaCare, TD Bank, Berkeley College, New Jersey Resources, Johnson & Johnson, and by Kessler Foundation. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.